A woman once sat quietly in a crowded room. No one spoke to her. No one needed to. Within minutes, she knew who was pretending, who was anxious, who didn't belong, and who was about to break. Later, when asked how she knew, she simply said, "I've seen this before." What most people called intuition wasn't intuition at all. It was conditioning, precision, survival. In this video, you'll discover why some women develop an almost unsettling ability to read people, predict behavior, and sense what others completely miss, and the hidden psychological cost behind that intelligence. By the end, you won't just understand them, you'll start seeing what they see. And once you do, there's no going back. Before we dive in, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. She didn't just notice things, she decoded them. The woman you saw earlier wasn't guessing. Every glance, every pause, every subtle shift in tone was being processed in real time. What looked like calm observation was something far deeper. Trauma intelligence operating alongside a heightened state of hypervigilance. Her brain had learned early that missing a signal could come at a cost, so it adapted by missing nothing. At a family gathering, she walks in, and within seconds, something feels off. The room is full of laughter. Conversations overlap. Everything appears normal, but her attention locks onto details no one else registers. An aunt smiling without warmth in her eyes. A cousin speaking casually, yet his tone carries tension. Two people avoiding eye contact just a moment too long. No one reacts. 10 minutes later, an argument erupts between those exact two people. Everyone is surprised, except her. She didn't hear words. She read the emotional code beneath them. This isn't mystical intuition. It's pattern recognition shaped under pressure. When someone grows up in an emotionally unpredictable environment, the brain adapts. The amygdala becomes more sensitive to subtle emotional shifts, while the prefrontal cortex sharpens its ability to analyze and predict. Over time, this creates a person who doesn't simply experience reality, they scan it continuously. Their attention is drawn to micro-expressions, tone inconsistencies, and behavioral patterns most people filter out automatically, not by choice, but because their nervous system learned a rule early on: pay attention or pay the price. And then something even more precise begins to develop. She sits across from someone during a conversation. Everything seems right on the surface. The words are correct, the tone is polite, the interaction flows. Yet something feels slightly misaligned. A delay before answers, a smile that arrives half a second too late, a subtle tension in the face that doesn't match the words being spoken. It's not obvious, and it's not something easily explained, but it's there. Weeks later, the truth about that person becomes clear. Inconsistencies, hidden intentions, subtle dishonesty. People say there was no way to know, but she knew. Not because she's psychic, but because her brain has been trained to detect incongruence with extraordinary precision. What's happening here is not abstract. It's neurological. Trauma intelligence forms when the brain is repeatedly exposed to emotional unpredictability. The amygdala, responsible for detecting threat, becomes highly reactive, while neural pathways begin linking patterns between behavior and outcome. Tone leads to consequence. Expression signals reaction. Silence predicts tension. Over time, this creates a mental model that runs constantly in the background, analyzing and forecasting social dynamics with remarkable accuracy. This is where hypervigilance becomes more than anxiety. It becomes precision awareness. A continuous low-level scanning of the environment that operates automatically, even when there is no immediate threat. But here lies the paradox. The same system that makes this awareness powerful also makes it exhausting, because it doesn't easily turn off. Even in safe environments, the brain continues scanning, not out of fear, but out of conditioning. The mind has learned that awareness equals control, and control equals safety. So it keeps going. Later, she lies awake at night. The room is quiet. Nothing is happening, yet her mind remains active. Conversations replay in detail. Expressions are reanalyzed. Small moments are reconstructed and examined from different angles. Not because she wants to overthink, but because her brain is still processing, still connecting patterns, still searching for meaning. Even in stillness, the system remains alert. That is the hidden side of hypervigilance. It doesn't ask for permission, it simply continues. What you're witnessing isn't just sensitivity, it's adaptation. A mind that learned to navigate complexity by becoming exceptionally skilled at understanding it. The ability to read people, to sense subtle shifts, to anticipate outcomes. These are not random traits. They are the result of a brain shaped by experience, refined through repetition, and calibrated by necessity. A brain that turned uncertainty into awareness and awareness into intelligence. But the real transformation begins at a different point, when that awareness is no longer used only for survival, but for clarity, balance, and intentional perception. Because the same mind that learned to detect every signal can also learn something far more powerful: when to stop scanning, when to release control, and when to finally recognize that not every moment requires analysis. And that shift changes everything. But here's where it becomes even more precise and more unsettling. Because over time, this ability doesn't stay limited to reading people. It starts predicting them. A slight shift in tone is no longer just noticed. It's linked to what usually comes next. A certain type of silence isn't just silence anymore. It becomes a signal. This is the deeper layer of trauma intelligence. The brain begins to build internal maps of behavior, not consciously, but automatically. And suddenly, reactions feel predictable. Patterns feel familiar. Outcomes feel almost expected. That's why some women don't just say, "Something feels wrong." They say, "I know exactly how this will end." And most of the time, they're right. But here's the part almost no one talks about. When your mind becomes this accurate at reading the external world, it also becomes extremely sensitive to the internal one. Every emotion is amplified. Every inconsistency stands out. Every subtle shift, outside or inside, is registered instantly, which creates a very unique experience. You're rarely confused, but you're almost never at rest, because clarity comes at a cost. Stop for a second. What you're about to see is not just another video. It is the psychological secret that silently changes how women perceive your presence, without you saying a single word. The title now appearing on your screen, without saying a word. The psychological secret that makes women crave your presence. Be careful. You may never see yourself the same way again. If you find value in it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.